Hello out there, YouTube friends. I am Cindy and this is Sincerely Cindy Settle. Today we're doing a review of Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. So, if you have not heard of Colleen Hoover, you're probably living under a rock. If you are in the book world, you know that Colleen is kind of having her moment right now. She has been around for a little while. I'm considered an OG Colleen Hoover fan. I read her way back when she was just an indie author when she released Slammed, and have read almost all of the books as they've released. As she has progressed in her writing, she's not become so much of a one-click author for me. There have been a couple books as she's grown a little bit that I haven't been a huge fan of. So I've kind of gotten out of that Colleen Hoover hype, if you will. However, right now is kind of her moment. She has all kinds of books on the USA bestsellers list, New York Times bestsellers list, in both paperback, hardback, ebook. Like, she is on fire right now. So I know that she just released Verity and a hardback cover with, it's a special edition. It has a couple extra chapters, I think, in it. So if you've read Verity or you're interested in reading Verity, now might be the time. I don't know that I'm going to read the extra chapters. I might get it from the library just to see what those extra chapters have to say, because it does, that book does kind of leave you on the, like, what the hell just happened? So anyway, so Reminders of Him is her most recent release in terms of a new book. She does have a book coming up that's releasing in the middle of October called It Starts With Us. And I've promised you guys an It Ends With Us video with my daughter. We both read that book and we just haven't gotten to it yet. She's been busy with homecoming and school, and I've been busy with work and, you know, those kind of things. So anyway, so Reminders of Him is a story about Kenna and Ledger. So Kenna is recently released from prison. While she was in prison, she had a child, and that child is currently being raised by her, the child's father's parents. So the child's father has passed away, and so there are some circumstances under which Kenna is in jail, and the parents are raising the daughter, and the baby daddy, that I don't want to reveal too much because it would be kind of a spoiler moving forward, but she comes back to town where her daughter is in an effort to try to have some sort of relationship with her. So she did sign her rights over to Scotty, who is the baby's dad, to Scotty's parents when she had the baby. So she knows where she is. She knows who's been raising her. She knows that she's in good hands, and she trusts these people with her daughter. So, but with that being said, she did sign the baby over, knowing that these parents are not huge fans of Kenna's. They don't like her for reasons, again, that I'm not going to spoil for you. So establishing that relationship with her daughter is going to be a challenge, and she knows that, because Scotty's parents are going to be resistant to her being back in the little girl's life. So moving forward, so she gets into town, she goes into a bar. The bar is owned by a man named Ledger. She has a weak moment. They kind of make out for a minute, and then she realizes who Ledger is, although Ledger doesn't know who she is. So when she first comes to town, she goes by a different name because she knows that people in town may know her of the name that she went by when she was in town previously. So she goes by another name. So Ledger doesn't know who she is. Although as she's making out with him and he says his name, she was like, oh shit, this is probably Scotty's best friend. So anyway, so the story develops, and Kenna and Ledger are kind of at each other's throats, although Ledger has some sympathy for her. He's originally upset with her and mad at her for the same reasons that Scotty's parents are. And as he gets to know her a little more, he realizes that, you know, he's very sympathetic towards her and her situation. and he starts to fall for her, and he kind of vouches for her at some point and gives her, you know, although it doesn't appear as though he's giving her a hand in her efforts, ultimately he is. Those are things that turn out to be good things for her in terms of her relationship with her daughter. Their relationship develops in such a way, it's not really like a enemies to lovers kind of story, although you kind of feel at the beginning that that's kind of how it starts off, but Ledger's not really, like, he doesn't really hate her because he does have some sympathy for her, and then as he gets to know kind of her side of the story, he becomes even more sympathetic to her and her efforts to get to know her daughter and have a relationship with her, and he truly feels like she is worthy of having her daughter in her life, and begins to understand the circumstances that surrounded what happened with Scotty and with her, and why she was in prison, and why she reacted the way that she did when she went to prison. So it all comes together in a nice, neat little package. There are some very cute moments. The little girl is super cute. She's super funny, and I can't remember her name, and I don't know why. Her name is escaping me, but she's really cute. She's very creative, very unique. She's just a cute little girl. She brings some laughter to the story, and some cute little antidotes to the story. So she is involved in there with Ledger, and of course Scotty's parents are in there as well. And you're sympathetic towards Kenna and her plight to have a relationship with her daughter, and the efforts that she's going to, and the struggles that she's facing in those efforts to do so. You know, she does seem like all the doors are being closed in her face, and no one wants to give her a chance. So there were definitely some, you know, giggly moments, not necessarily laugh out loud moments, but some moments that made me giggle or think of my own children. And then there were some moments that, you know, made me tear up and, you know, really be sympathetic for Kenna. And, you know, my hopes were, you know, I was invested in the characters. I was hopeful that Ledger and Kenna could figure out how to make things work with the challenges that they were facing in their community, with Scotty's parents, with his family, and with her challenges, with her history, and just it's a very well written story. Again, if you've read Colleen, you know that she is a very talented writer. This was a 4-star book for me. Again, reminders of him. It is a standalone. And I would recommend it. Again, 4 stars. There are a couple of spicy scenes, but the spicy scenes are very tasteful. There's nothing raunchy or smutty, if you will, about any of those scenes. So I highly recommend. Again, it was a 4-star for me. Colleen hasn't had a 5-star from me since November 9. I don't know if it's because I'm measuring them all up to November 9 or exactly what it is, but that's my favorite Colleen book, and one of my favorite books that I recommend to anyone that asks me, you know, what book do you recommend that I read? That's the one that I always recommend, regardless of whether they're asking specifically for a Colleen Hoover book or just a book in general. So I hope you've enjoyed the review. I try not to give too many spoilers. I hope that if you guys have read this book, let me know what you guys thought. I enjoyed doing the book reviews. I'm not sure how best to incorporate the book reviews with my fashion content, but I enjoy doing them. Let me know if they are helpful to you, or if it's just me just rambling and they're not very helpful at all. I like to know that as well. So if you've read Colleen, what's your favorite Colleen book, and all of the good stuff. So again, I do hope to get to my review of It Ends With Us with my daughter for you guys, and then we will review It Starts With Us when it is released mid-October. So I will see you guys soon. Please like and subscribe. I will see you soon. I'm signing out. I'm Sincerely Cindy Settle. Mwah.